Get started. Hey everyone, I'm Devin from Pre-Hired, and we're doing another Pre-Hired success story. Today we have Kim. She's from Chicago, and she has a background in executive coaching, and she's just got hired at one of the top sales teams in the Chicago area. So Kim, go ahead and just take a minute and tell everyone about you and your background.
Sure. I did have some sales experience in my early career, but nothing with software or technology.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the last 13 years, I've had my own business doing executive coaching. And I just, with coaching the executives, I saw in their career experience what a big change software made for their businesses and their careers. And so that kind of was what inspired me to shift into software sales.
Okay, gotcha. So you kind of already went into question number 2 about why you're interested in software sales, but why were you interested in pre-hire specifically?
Well, like I said, I had some sales experience, and also I was selling, for my own firm, I was selling clients packages and things. So I felt pretty solid in the sales arena. But being interested in software, I really wanted to be updated on sort of what was special in relation to software sales and what tools are being used internally on the back end to do all the prospecting and CRM and everything.
Okay, cool. So pre-hire kind of answered some of those questions for you, and that's kind of what.
Yeah, like filling in that gap. Mm-hmm.
Sure, perfect. So when you first found us, did you have any doubts, or what were you kind of thinking when you were going through listening to Josh's videos about wanting to go through the program?
I didn't have too many doubts that the program was good because I did watch a lot of videos and also vetted the reviews and everything.
Sure.
I had some sales experience and I was used to talking to executive decision makers, so I did have the thought that, well, I could do this on my own and just get my foot in somewhere and work my way up. But I felt like it was more important to me to get hired faster and get in at like a higher level. Mm-hmm. By filling in those gaps myself and not expecting my employer to be able to do that.
Sure. Gotcha. And so what was it like going through the program?
It was great. I was able to do it. I did it in 2.5 weeks.
Nice.
I kind of, I was working pretty hard at it. It wasn't hard content, but it does take time and processing. And so I think it's the kind of thing where you can go, I think you allow up to 6 weeks, right? So
right.
It's nice that it's flexible, that you can do it as quickly or slowly as you need to.
Yeah. Cool. So tell me a little bit more about your thought processes going through it. You did mention the content was easy, was easy to digest, and you just had to put the processes in place. But were there times where you thought that the content would have been a little bit harder or over your head, or was it just an easy, smooth learning process for you?
It was pretty smooth. I'm kind of a person who's tech savvy, but I'm not a geek by any means. So I think if you have some basic tech literacy, that it's pretty simple, and there's a ton of support. So even if you're lacking in the tech literacy area, if you're willing to learn and reach out, I think even somebody like that would do just fine.
Yeah, definitely. And you make a very important point as it relates to just the resources that help, come alongside and mentor, the members as they go through the program to, bring them up to speed on tech, or if, they're struggling with some of the programs, we're definitely there to help them, get on the cutting edge, know what they're doing, know what they're talking about, and be able to speak to that. So that's really, really good. Yeah. So, last question. What would you say to anyone who's following us, but they're just on the fence about getting started?
I'd say if you want to shift into software sales, this is a great decision to make. Mm-hmm. If you want to sell cars, maybe not, but actually everything that we learned here could be applied to sales in any arena, now that I think about it. So but specifically for software sales, it's terrific to go in armed, to already be speaking in a literate way about funnels and conversion percentages and the tools that you're using. I know when I was interviewing, I was able to talk about a lot of the tools, and you hear the interviewer perk up like, oh, you're already using HubSpot, like,
Uh-huh.
oh, you're using Interseller.
Yeah.
So they, even though those tools aren't that hard to learn, it's just about speaking their language and knowing that you're coming to the table kind of ready to work. And I felt like Pre-Hired gave me all of that.
Awesome. Awesome.
And the
Cool.
mentoring is awesome. It's just, I mean, look at Devin here. Any, just imagine it's not just learning the skills. You have a human being on the other side who's like your personal guide through everything.
Mhm.
And you're a technical recruiter, and I had you kind of like on my team telling me what to do, and I was like, I don't know, they didn't send an offer, what's going on?
Yeah.
And so you kind of gave me like the real on
Mhm.
what was happening and how to interpret what was going on during my job search too, because I finished the course 4 weeks ago.
Mhm.
And that's not the end though. You and I've been working together really closely to do really well in these interviews and to
Mhm.
understand what's happening with the negotiation process. So
Mhm.
I appreciate the whole end-to-end aspect of it.
Yeah, definitely. So, you hear that, folks, and if you're on the fence, Kim is a great example of someone who's gone through the program and excelled in the program, and then she was able to land the job within 4 weeks. And that was after having, how many interviews did you have altogether? You were
At this, you mean all together or at this company?
altogether. I know that you've gone through series of interviews.
Uh, oh, I mean, I think at least 10.
Mhm. Yeah. And so within, 4 weeks, since certification, she's gone through 10 interviews. And that's something to be said about not just the program, but also, Kim as a person being able to do the outreach and to do the work and put the
Mhm.
systems and the processes in place. So as I always say, the system works, you just have to work it. So I just
Totally.
want to I just want to thank you, Kim, so much for taking the time to just share with us about how you've been successful in Pre-Hired and how Pre-Hired can help others.
Absolutely. I'm very grateful. Thanks, Devin.
Yeah, you're very welcome.